Supermicrocomputer is currently one of the most polarizing stocks in the entire AI sector. Over the past 6 months, it has been absolutely battered down more than 37% as investors worry about margin pressure. But Wall Street still has a consensus price target of $46, suggesting a potential upside over 45% from today's price. With earnings just days away on February 3rd, is this a buy the dip opportunity for the liquid cooling leader, or are the shorts about to win? Let's dive into the data. Now, the biggest event on the calendar is February 3rd, 2026. That is when SMCI reports its second quarter fiscal results, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Management is guiding for a massive recovery with Q2 EPS in the range of 46 cents to 54 cents, and they are expecting sales to nearly double compared to last year, reaching between $10 billion and $11 billion. Now, the goal for 2026 is that despite the recent volatility, CEO Charles Liang is standing firm on an ambitious full-year revenue target of at least $36 billion. Now, while the banks fight over margins, Supermicro is building an absolute mountain of orders. The backlog with management recently revealed a massive staggering order book with more than $13 billion, specifically for Nvidia's Blackwell Ultra products. Now, you also have to consider the liquid cooling moat. As AI chips get hotter, traditional air cooling is failing, and SMCI has recently deployed over 100,000 Nvidia GPUs with their proprietary direct liquid cooling solutions. As well, they've also already expanded manufacturing for Nvidia's upcoming Vera Rubin and Rubin platforms, positioning them to be the first to market with the next generation of AI factories. So now let's look at the chart. We recently hit a 52-week low of $25, but we are seeing strong support building in the $30 range. If we analyze this a little bit further, we can see that the following developments are going to continue. So as you can see, we are on this daily chart of SMCI, and quite clearly we can see that there's been a heavy area of resistance here, which is a swing high anchored VWAP from this high that we formed here on March of 2024, which has been allowing the sellers to be fully in control and has been pretty much just adding more supply over time. Every single time we try to break above it, the buyers are not strong enough and the sellers come in present. So each time we have a rally, we find resistance there with sellers present. At this zone as well, rally, sellers find their presence, and then same thing here on the most recent one, buyers come in and then sellers come in here. This was the most recent one that we had in October of 2025, and this made us drop all the way to around $31. But something I want to acknowledge here is this important support zone that we are seeing here around $29.31, which is pretty much from a prior area of support that was formed on April 30th of 2025. So we can pretty much say the April lows. Now we can see that we have been holding. We've been seeing now a lot of areas here where the buyers come in more aggressively. We can see this increase over time here. If you look at the volume candles here, increase of volume in the buying section, and there was this period of accumulation here, but now we are looking a bit up. We saw this very nice candle here we had on January 16th with the highest volume being recorded. So what we can simply do to manage this low that was formed is, now that we know that the buyers came in, why not plot an anchored VWAP here and get the average price of entry of those participants. So we'll put this as a darker green, and this is actually currently where we are holding today and actually finding a little bit of buyers here. We can see that this lower wick candle is what's showing us that buyers are coming in. They're picking up the price here. It did reach a low today of around $30, but here the buyers have been coming up, and the stock is currently trading around $31 here per share. So what I would like to see here is the following. So now that we've seen that the buyers are currently holding that area of overall support, and then considering that we have this area of supply here from this most recent attempt to rally higher above the longer term swing high anchored VWAP, which is around here, $53. What I believe will happen here on SMCI is that we will see buyers here, buyer momentum, probably liquidate some positions here, find that support zone, form that higher low, and then slowly start to rally towards the area of supply, which is going to be the short term right here anchored VWAP. So we can even plot this particularly right here. This is where I believe SMCI can rally towards the anchored VWAP of the most recent here attempt to rally above the overall highs, which wouldn't be that bad. That would be a very nice return here, considering the moment here around 24% upside. This can be heavily achievable, and I believe that if we do manage to reach this level, we'll probably see again a rejection, right? And then we may even see some type of accumulation around the zone and maybe some bids up, finally trying to retest again now the highs that were formed here at the longer term resistance zone around $53 or 51 cents here, which is pretty much what we had here. So this would be a nice rally. So pretty much what we're trying to do is trying to copy this trade where we find a support level and then we see a rally from these lows all the way towards the main area of resistance, which is here at around $57 here. And this could be possible obviously if earnings developments do occur. Now I am firmly bullish on this name if we can firmly attain this level. And then we have to look at their earnings, right? So they have been increasing over time. Over the quarters, they have been kind of declining here, especially on their net margins. But we do have to consider that the stock is pretty much oversold, right? We see that it's over the past 6 months is down a little bit more than 40% here, to be exactly 47%. And I do believe that it's time for some type of rally, a little bit of a bounce, where we can trigger to test these levels of $37 and $53 here on SMCI. Overall, Supermicro is a high volume AI utility. It's the infrastructure for the most powerful computers ever built, and the upcoming earnings will define 2026 for this stock. Drop your price predictions for SMCI in the comment section below. Smash that like button for that 1-hour masterclass on SMCI's business. And remember, don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys on the next one.